In early 2025, something shifted deep within the Canadian spirit. What began as political noise from Washington quickly turned into a national reckoning north of the border. As Donald Trump ramped up his rhetoric, floating the idea of annexing Canada, referring to Prime Minister Trudeau as the governor of the 51st state, and threatening crippling tariffs, Canadians didn't just listen. They reacted. Not with fear, but with pride. The slogan, "Canada is not for sale," began to appear overnight, printed boldly on red hats, signs, t-shirts, and online banners. It wasn't just a saying. It became a movement. Canadians from every province, regardless of political leaning, came together in a rare show of unity. The message was simple: we are not yours to take. In Toronto, Vancouver, Halifax, and Montreal, the hats sold out in days. Stores couldn't restock them fast enough. Politicians wore them in press conferences. Teachers wore them in classrooms. Construction workers, artists, retirees, everyone had a version of it. On hockey nights and basketball courts, the sentiment was even louder. At NHL games, when American teams came to town, crowds began booing the U.S. national anthem. It wasn't about hate. It was about defiance. When "O Canada" played, people sang louder than ever before, holding their flags high with tears in their eyes. The boycotts began soon after. Canadian consumers started avoiding American products wherever possible. Fast food chains saw sharp declines in foot traffic. Subscription numbers for American streaming platforms dropped. Canadian grocery apps added "Made in Canada" filters. Shoppers proudly paid more for local goods. Bars removed American whiskeys from their shelves. Cafés renamed Americanos as Canadianos. Liquor stores stopped selling U.S. spirits altogether in some provinces. It wasn't a government order. It was cultural. Organic. From the people. National pride flowed through commercials, songs, advertisements. An old beer ad was revived on national television with a modern twist, less humor, more conviction. It declared that being Canadian meant something. It meant standing tall. It meant drawing a line. Online forums flooded with testimonials from Canadians canceling vacations to Florida or New York. Instead, they booked local stays in Banff, Whistler, and Prince Edward Island. Travel agencies adjusted. Airlines shifted domestic promotions. It became a trend to discover Canada, to invest in one's own backyard. People shared photos of Canadian farms, lakes, forests, reminding each other of what they had to protect. The phrase, "economic dignity," started circulating, and Canadians embraced it. Even small towns put up signs supporting the movement. Bakeries sold maple-shaped cookies with anti-annexation messages. Schools held assemblies talking about sovereignty. Flags flew not just on buildings, but on cars, bikes, backpacks. Kids drew red maple leaves in their notebooks. The idea that Canada could be bought, sold, or absorbed felt like a personal insult to everyone. And the response wasn't anger, it was pride. In stores, American goods sat untouched on shelves. Some were marked with stickers by local groups, "Think before you buy." Social media campaigns took off. Hashtags calling for Canadian unity trended for weeks. Influencers shifted content to promote homegrown brands. Local artists released protest songs. Journalists called it a cultural awakening. Even in the entertainment world, Canadian shows gained new popularity. Theaters added local films to their lineups. Radio stations pushed Canadian musicians. Bookstores set up "Proudly Canadian" tables by the door. The deeper Trump pushed, the more Canadians pulled together. The American president may have intended to pressure a neighbor, but instead, he awakened a sense of self that had long been quiet. This wasn't about trade anymore. It was about identity. And in that moment, it became clear to millions, being Canadian isn't just a nationality. It's a decision. A belief. A promise. One that no tariff, no threat, no outsider could undo. Every chant at a stadium, every boycott, every hat that read, "Canada is not for sale," was a reminder that when pushed, Canadians don't back down. They stand taller. They sing louder. They choose Canada, again and again.